Don't let your butt stand on the way of your blessings. You are too serious for me. See, I did not bring this to my wife because I know she will, I always bring a title to her just for her to have her 2 cents, because I know that she will have something to say about this. But this was attentional. Imagine that if I made a mistake in a title. I will hear from you, am I right? But this is attentional for you to know that this but is very dangerous for us. It's very disheartening. Sometimes taking a strength out of us. It's really putting us down. And I want to share this idea with you. I hope it will be very short, because I want to introduce something this morning. And you need to bear with me, because I believe it will be proactive for us. Imagine if you are with a close friend and he or she says, I really appreciate you as a friend. I am glad we got to spend the time together. And I am especially like your sense of humor. I like that. And then there is a big pause. Or someone say, that is lovely jacket, but what you're wearing, but. That's a nice makeup, by the way, but. You did a wonderful job with this, but. I like your new hairstyle, but. And this is the problem that I'm having with the but. Well, what happens in our mind when a person is saying this little word? However we rationally respond, it's not the same way how we emotionally respond. It's very interesting to ignore everything that went before the but and to focus on what comes after it. Instinctively, we recognize that this was what they really think of us. That's the point. That's what we do emotionally. Rationally, yeah, but somehow we stop, and when we hear that but, we concentrate on that. You know what? It's very interesting that this word is very much in use. Unfortunately, negatively. The word but negates or cancels everything that goes before it. It is generally accepted as a sign that the really important part of the sentence is coming up. When we say or when we use it, most people who are listening to us will give more attention and more weight to what you say after we say but. This tiny little word is widely misused. Managers use this word. It's in stating, you handled that wonderfully, but on the whole, your performance was good, but spouses, they use this or misuse it very often. I really love how you touch me, but it is great being with you, but especially when you date. And you date for 3-4 months and suddenly your boyfriend, girlfriend come to you saying, listen, I really have a good time with you, but you don't want to hear that but, am I right? It's destroying your day. It's really putting you down. But, it is but. Teachers misuse it. That wasn't too bad, but your spelling is good, but oh boy, especially when you go to the bank and you apply for a certain loan or a business loan, and your account manager saying, listen, we appreciate you as our customer, but especially when you come to the doctor. And after barrage of the tests, overall, you are in good health, but there is a little smudge. And all your day is gone. Lot of negative buts. And I call this but of subtraction, because it subtracts everything that is good, that gives you maybe boost for the future, but actually put you down. And I really don't like these buts. And let's try one in 2 Kings 5:1. We will find here one interesting man. By the way, he's not Israeli at all. But he's prepared to meet a prophet. Interestingly, with attitude that was the part of that but. Listen to this, verse 1, chapter 5. Now Naaman was commander of the army of the king of Aram. He was great man in the sight of his master and highly regarded, because through him the Lord has given victory to Aram. Remember this. God gave a victory through this man. That means God really honored this man and what he stands for, even though he was a Gentile. He was a valiant soldier, but he was a leper. Now, that actually determined his mental state. He could not socially relate. He was in a, you can say, voluntarily exile. He cannot be around the people. And that creates a certain attitude. And when he was faced the prophet who tell him, listen, you need to go to Jordan and dip yourself 7 times. That mentality was there. But determine how we think about ourselves. And the way how we bring that but in one another life, we can bring our energies up and make us grow from situations that we are in and help one another. But I love the other but. See, I try to avoid saying buts, because that S, the way how I pronounce, who knows how can be misconstrued. But I think but is good than a plural. But there is other but. I call it but of addition. Not addiction, addition. Let's go and see this experience, because I love this, what's happening here. In 2 Chronicles, chapter 20. I think Pastor Ida Smith was preaching about, if I'm not mistaken, before. I just want to talk about this event, this man, and his prayer. He was a king, Jehoshaphat. Very interesting man. He came in his role as a king very young, but he ruled long on the throne of Judah. And all his time as a king, he put accent to ask for God's presence. Even to the point that he appointed people, Levites, to go into the Judah and teach the people. To the point that people really grow in honor and respect and fear of God. To the point that all other kingdoms around them respect and honor Jehoshaphat and bring him gifts, bring him everything. And his kingdom was very well good. But just because of that richness now, it was like invitation for a kingdom to come and do the bidding on him. And what happened? Let's start with verse 5, just for you to see Then Jehoshaphat stood up in assembly of Judah and Jerusalem. Just for you to know, he received the message that armies of Edom on the side of the sea, Hazon Tamar, Almed, and tribes or nation from the Mount Seir was coming at him. And he stood up in assembly of Jerusalem and Judah and Jerusalem at the temple of the Lord in the front of the new courtyard and said, listen to this prayer, please. O Lord, God of our fathers, are you not a God who is in heaven? Not that he is doubting that, but listen to the rest of the prayer. You rule over all the kingdoms of the nations. Power and might are in your hand, and no one can withstand you. O our God, did you not drive out inhabitants of this land before your people Israel, and give it forever to the descendants of Abraham, your friend? They have lived in it and have built in a sanctuary for your name, saying, if calamity comes upon us, whenever the swords or judgment or plagues or famine we will stand in your presence before this temple that bears your name and will cry out to you in our distress, and you will hear us and you will save us. I love this prayer so far. It brings point in a Jehoshaphat prayer. He said, God, I remember your promise. I remember reason why we established the house of your house here. I want to remind you that we did that in a time when it was good. We built this and we said whenever pestilence comes in, whenever sword comes in, wherever problems occur in Judah and Israel, you will come. You will come. When we are in distress, you will hear us and you will save us. What an awesome prayer. Now, let's go forward. Next, in verse 10, you know what he said, at least in my translation? But, now here are the men from Ammon, from Moab, from Mount Seir, whose territory you would not allow Israel to invade when they came from Egypt. So they turned away from them and did not destroy them. See how they are repaying us by coming to drive us out of the possession you gave us as our inheritance. O our God, will you not judge them? For we have no power to face this vast army that is attacking us. We do not know what to do, but our eyes are upon you. I call this but of addition. It adds something. It adds something to me because I am in position that I don't know what to do. It's facing calamity, but let me tell you something. Jehoshaphat was not that without power. If the couple of chapters before, in chapter 17, from verse 14, you will see that he had actually army about more than 500,000 of people, soldiers. Hello? I will be confident. But he put that on the side. He did not rely on that. He said, you know what, God? This army is bigger than everything I faced. We face as a nation. We know our strength, but we are asking for you. Isn't that awesome? Sometimes we are relying on our finances, our economy, what our hands build, without putting that in perspective and saying, is it not opportunity to add God's presence in my decision here? of addition. But of addition. I am adding. And I know that I am not well enough, not good enough, even though I can. But I am adding God's promise in my life. You know what is happening when people have this attitude? Just because Jehoshaphat had this attitude, God did extraordinary. And you know Bible as well as I am, but it's just exciting just to talk about it or bringing that. He said, you know what? Go and take a walk to the battlefield. Don't take a sword, don't take nothing. Just sing a song. Hello? You know what song is all about? Verse 21. After consulting the people, Jehoshaphat appointed men to sing to the Lord and praise him to the splendor of his holiness. And they went out at the head of the army, saying, give thanks to the Lord, for his love endures forever. That's it. Do you know what happened when they went there? There was no live soldier of the army who faced them. Everyone was dead. Night before that, because they were a fraction army, they make a pact between them and they actually go against one another to the point that fraction torn apart and they face one another. Everyone was dead. Plunder was so big that for 3 days they need to pick up that and bring it to Jerusalem. When we add a but in a positive sense, when we add God to us to deliberately, intentionally targeting God's promise. And Jehoshaphat just did that, even though he had a power to act, not to ask, but he did it. I just wonder, are we creating a situation in our life where we can see God's grace and glory and mercy, to see him act? And when that happened, wow, you know what? You talk about God, I know God. Why? Because this is what happened. No one can deny that because you exist. You see, please make this predicament a little bit, I want to settle here on this predicament. God exists because you are alive. Because of your personal experience, no one can deny you. Then what is the purpose of mine in your life? Is to take those promises and intentionally take them and apply them in our lives. That's the fact of mine in your life. If we claim that we are children of God, there is no other reason why we exist. If our finances does not bring a glory to God, what is the purpose of them? If my emotional state does not bring glory to God, what is the purpose of it? No one is perfect, but as long as I am taking that but of addition, I will see the God's glory in my life. Do you believe this? And this is one moment where I will stop, because I have something to say always. I want to bring to you what we as a team made out as a present to you. You can say, I would like to say present, but actually it's a challenge. Now, what happened in the first service here? Some people take it and obviously they hold it and they didn't do that. This is time that I will say you will get this if you are serious about challenge. And I will present a challenge and I will ask deacons to give it to you when you raise your hand, because I'm very serious about this. And let me share with you what is challenge about. There are 2 cards in this envelope. One, as you can see, I already filled it up. As you can see, it's a prayer card. I would like to challenge you, we would like to challenge you as a team, to challenge yourself, to use your sphere of influence wherever you are. Is at a workplace? Is it your neighborhood? Is that your soccer team that you are belonging to, or you are a trainer, or maybe gym that you are going in? We would like to challenge you to put 5 names here. If you think that you can do more, there is always back. 5 names that you will work on, will live with, break a bread with, and pray for. That's our challenge to you. Now, what we would like to see happening is for this card to go inside. But also we would like you to take that opportunity, if you don't want to be inside the card, the envelope, to take it home. But this is your card if you take the challenge. If you want to keep it inside, please take I know that you have cell phones, take the picture of it. But put the card inside the envelope. Because we would like to pray for you. From the beginning of the 10 days of prayer, pastoral team every Monday will take the envelopes which we would like to have here. There is 4 boards. Even you guys on a balcony, you have your board behind you, just for you to know. There is 1 on the back and 2 are here. We would like you to take a walk of faith and put this thing to work. Now, second one, it's where I most like it, and I believe it's something that is important. I believe that it's not given to you and I to change one another, but what our power is to change ourselves. And this is a card that is actually personal challenge to you. And see if you want to take, because we are very serious as a team regarding this. Let me walk you through this. One is, quit trying to be someone else. Do I need to say something about that? It's always, or it's some Hollywood star that you would like to be, or someone else. We denying ourselves a right to be a God child. Recognizing that is an awesome thing. Asking a God to help you with that is awesome also. Next one. Quit trying to carry all your burdens. Stop. I want you to have courage to say stop. I cannot do certain things, and I love that. Every time when I visit the people, whoever I visit, they know that I'm reading always and discussing with them Matthew chapter 6 from 25 and forward. Why? Because it's talking about do not worry. Don't worry about things. Don't worry about things that is mine to worry about. You, in the verse is saying, but first think about kingdom of heaven. And all these things, how many? Will be added to you. And my favorite verse after that stating, do not worry about tomorrow, because tomorrow will worry about itself. Each day has enough trouble of its own. Take your burden to the man, to the person who can handle it for you. Stop denying yourself a right to be a God child. It is not yours to carry the burden that is not yours to carry. You're denying your energy, you're denying your strength. That's why you cannot be accessible to your family, to your children, to your co-workers. Why? Because your mind is overloaded. Start embracing today. Oh, we just said a verse about that. This is very interesting. And I talked about this before, we live or in the past or in a future. And Satan finds a way through the economy, through the lifestyle that we have in our society here, not to enjoy our present. We don't know how, because we are constantly divided. And now our present is bailing out on us. And we are not present. We do not know how to say, I love you. We don't have a time because I'm preoccupied. I don't have a strength to spend the time with my children. Why? Because there is more other priorities that is in my head than a family or relationships. Let the past go. Accept God's grace. Guys, I don't know how many times I need to put accent to this, but this is very much important. Accepting God's grace every day is very important for my Christian upbringing. If I don't ask for that, I am condemning myself to exhaust my strength that I have and not to feel God's presence in my life. Live free of grudges and bitterness. Who wants to take this one? Live free of grudges and bitterness. I'm inviting you to do that. I'm inviting you to challenge yourself. Maybe we should have some little box here and saying transgressions. That means every time when you say something or think about someone, put $1 or 25 cents. I think that little box will be full. Let go of grudges and bitterness. Remember, other people exist. Hello? We are not islands. We are created for community. We are not created for movies and Netflix and video games. That's what Satan threw. I'm not saying that's bad. That needs to be controlled. But because of the environment that we live in, this is what's happening. We do not have a time. And I become very much important. There is three people that I very much love. Me, myself, and I. There is no fourth one. How healthy is that? Imagine you take the challenge. Admit mistakes readily. Oh boy, that will save some energies and strength and will actually put our thoughts in line with God. Give generously. Imagine that you make decisions that this year I want to give like no other year. I want to see how God will work on my life. Not only when a tithe is in question, but give generously means, how about your time? How about your time investing in other people? Protect your heart. Oh, this is important. Protect your heart. Protect your heart with what you watch, what you listen, what your company is all about. Protect your heart with what you read. It makes intentionality in our mind to do so. Take new risk. Oh boy. Imagine that. Imagine you are introvert and you are hurt in the past. Maybe from the same people that you are in a church. Take a risk to approach to them, to know them better. Or how about financial risk? I don't know when Jesus will come, but that's not mean that we should not plan. Am I right? Then why don't you take God by His word and take new risks in life? Think and act internally. Not internally, for eternity. That means wherever you are doing, whatever decision you are making, think with the end in thought. Think what that means for the salvation. And this is a card. really dear to my heart. And I was so excited when we talk about this in a pastoral team. And we would like to bring this to you. Now, I know that we do not have a lot, but this is just beginning. As I said, we will have this all the way to 19th of January. This is 10 days of prayer. And we are kickstarting with this. Now, whoever really would like to take initiative or this personal challenge, please raise your hand. Even if we cannot have it right now, we will have it for you when you come here next Sabbath. That means whoever is here, wherever we have, it's yours. Who wants to take a challenge that I just presented to you? Is there a Gideons here? Please, deacons, give it wherever we have to the people. Please also the balcony. They're a little bit closer to God there. But they're not still far from us. Please raise your hand because they will give you, if you're serious enough, please you use this opportunity. Just for you to know, we will have this next Sabbath also. But take opportunity. And also, if you see the pens somewhere, we have a lot, and all did not return to us. That means someone was having a lot, and maybe you are now out of pens. Take opportunity, because this is a challenge, and this is beginning of the year. And I believe it's something that we need to address, something that we need to give at least opportunity for you to act upon. Some people make resolutions, and majority of resolution is about losing that pounds that they build over the holidays. And other instructions for you to know. When you finish with putting everything inside, please seal your envelope. I don't want to know what is inside. It's between you and God. Pastoral team really do not want to know what is your challenge. But what we would like to see happening is that the envelope with your name on it, with your name, only we need to know that, is on the board. And throughout these weeks, we will have more prayers throughout 10 days, but also we'll have more of the challenges for you should you choose. It's like a Mission Impossible almost. Should you choose to use the challenge? Should you choose to accept challenge? Yes. And while we are doing this, I'm asking, let us sing a song. Let us sing a song. And giving is 310. 310. We will just sing as we sit.